Damon, so when you finished Lost and you had done the grind of broadcast, and then you had the opportunity to decide, if I develop a show, where do I want to do it? Was it always for you, let me do the smaller model and let me see if cable will take what I come up with? For you, just so that you could have a little bit of a break from what ABC wanted you to do with Lost and how much you had to produce with that show?
I think that certainly we did 25 hours of Lost the first season, 24 the second, 23 the third, and Carlton and I were both sort of the mind of, look, this is a broadcast show. We totally understand the rules, but the physical constraints on producing the show, and also just the storytelling, the serialized aspect of the show, the mystery elements of the show, we just felt like there was no way for us to keep up any degree of quality if we were going to continue making shows at that pace. I think we kept sort of describing ourselves as Lucy and Ethel, and everybody would just sort of like nod and understood exactly what we were talking about. And at the same time, we were simultaneously lobbying for the end of the show when ABC granted us an end date. And there was a negotiation going back and forth where, Steve McPherson, who was heading ABC at the time, essentially said, we're not going to end the show. People are still watching the show. Don't you understand, how this works? We were like, yeah, but, they're on it. We're asking all these questions. We should probably start answering some of them. And, like people should leave the island at some point. And, we should be working towards some ending. And they said, okay, we will let you end we'll let you end the show after 12 seasons. And we sort of negotiated our way down from there. But part of that negotiation was that we would do less episodes. Yeah. And fundamentally, the reality is there was a writer's strike in the fourth year, so I think that we ended up doing 14 episodes primarily as a result of the writer's strike. And then I think that we did like 17 and 18 maybe the following 2 years to make up for it. But the work kind of expands to fill the time. Yeah. I mean, I would love to, I was sort of watching Jeff Melvoin up here going like, quality scripts on time. That is good counsel. Like, I wish that, even though I know that that's true, the work expands to fill the time. So we did 10 episodes of The Leftovers last year. We shot a pilot last summer that shot the pilot, had 4 weeks to edit the pilot, waiting for HBO's response. HBO said, we like it, we'll go. And then we had from basically October until the beginning of February before we started production on episode 2. And I was sort of like, this is going to be awesome. Look at all the time that we have. And the work expanded to fill the time. We just became, became a lot more precious about the stories. And it was like that sort of idea of in the same time that it took us to make 24 hours of Lost, I produced 10 hours of The Leftovers, and I would argue, and I'm sure many would agree with me, that there is no qualitative difference whatsoever. I got paid a lot less money, and I saw more movies. But other than that, it took me 11 months to make 10 episodes of television, and probably the same is true this year. And it's a bummer for for certainly the other writer-producers on the staff because they get compensated by the episode, right. And we're trying to find a way to change that. And obviously, HBO has a certain prestige to it because I don't know if you've heard this, but they're not TV. Steve, you probably couldn't watch HBO on your TV because I'm told it's not.
I wonder if they know that hardly anybody is TV.
Yeah, anybody. No, it's true. And so it has been amazing in many other ways. From the broadcast grind, I think it is nice doing less episodes, but I do feel like I'm working just as hard, and I'm certainly just as miserable. But it's amortized over less episodes.